Dear all, today we shall discuss 14 things rich people regret doing it. You would assume that wealthy individuals' biggest regrets have had to do with fantastic business opportunities. You'd be wrong if you thought they passed on options like investing in Uber or purchasing Bitcoin at a discount. We spend a lot of time around wealthy people trying to avoid making the same mistakes. The truth has been created. Money is the only thing that can solve financial difficulties, and by the time you succeed, it might already be too late, but not for those who are still watching this movie until the end. So prepare yourself for prosperity and avoid their mistakes by doing the opposite. These are the top 14 regrets of the wealthy. 1. Ignoring the present moment. People with money frequently live in the future, a blessing and a curse. Living in the end allows you to bring it into the present, which is a blessing. The future is best stated because it provides you with a North Star to aim for. When you desire, you make a deal that won't be happy until you get what you want. Your mind is always considering alternative options. And as John Lennon discovered the hard way, life is what happens to you, as it has too many wealthy people. So find contentment in the present while you're busy developing other plans. Even if you aren't satisfied, you can still appreciate your accomplishments. Give the flowers some time to bloom. 2. An abandoned family. The second biggest regret is trading time with their family for a few additional dollars. One major fallacy that wealthy people are aware of is that their partners and children are essential. They need comfort, gifts for top schools, and more family-owned assets. It's true up to a point, depending on where you reside. Beyond this point, though, kids prefer to spend time with you. Instead of a new car, your lover would prefer to take a stroll through the park with you. Wristband for Tom. Don't be the type of person who only stops by their family during brief breaks from work. 3. Their education and delayed initiation. Unbelievably, the majority of wealthy people consider their college years to be a waste of time. But unfortunately, we've only discovered 2 exceptions for those who either made an exceptionally close buddy who is still alive or met their co-founder while attending college. Rich people claim that attending activities focused on your interests would have the same results in both situations. Rich people frequently lament their inability to start. They believe that if the rivalry had been less intense in the beginning, they would have had a tremendous competitive edge and could have reached an affluent status in half the time. They also believe that they would have done it sooner. Start immediately if you are young, a teen, or in your 20s. You know that thoughts circling in the back of your mind won't go away. Try it. The perfect day to begin was yesterday. Today is the second best time. 4. Feeling lonely after saying farewell to all of your friends. You must occasionally let go of people holding you back, which is essential to the prosperous path behind you. If the top seems deserted, you haven't brought enough people. But we do recognize that there are instances when you are the only one who wants to climb that mountain. And most of the time, that is accurate. The path to wealth is pretty amazing. People have partners and workers, and you develop a network, but all this is a means to an end. Making new, sincere, and lasting friendships is difficult when working nonstop. Owning your private island seems lovely until you realize how lonely it is. And people will come. You might be thinking, just give me the island. However, if they are merely there for the island, they aren't there for you, which makes you isolated even when surrounded by people. This situation could even get worse. Some of you are very familiar with this sensation. 5. Not having the proper mentor or coach. They are having someone who has been there and been the most powerful thing you can have. They are aware of the route, but know what lies ahead, what traps to watch out for, and which shortcuts to take. You will spend more time and money to acquire an excellent mentor or coach. Every top achiever has a coach or a way to concentrate their efforts for the best results. Anyone who is genuinely wealthy will confirm these statements if you ask them. Their mentors had a significant impact on their courses. Your life is developing slowly because you lack a mentor and a framework that would allow you to advance more quickly at the current rate. You may finally arrive at your destination, but it will take much longer. 6. They allowed what they did to define them. The thing about being good at something is this: you want to continue doing it. We are built in this way. Because we adore compliments so much, the cycle continues. When you perform something more frequently and improve, more praise is given. So you keep doing it more, and so on, because you want more applause. But before you know it, you are what you do in everyone else's eyes. They are the plant guys, he is a web designer, and she is a baker. So your entire self becomes compartmentalized. People will give you strange looks whenever you want to do something, and caution you against it. Hannah is an excellent example of someone who was advised to focus on producing tracks only. Being terrible at something in the beginning is a necessary part of learning anything, but due to your fame and love of praise, being horrible doesn't come naturally to you. People, therefore, tend to avoid it. You can become a multimillionaire this way. Accountants, attorneys, or physicians have a hidden desire to write books, play the guitar, or do stand-up. They can't afford to change who they are because of their status, because the world will look down on them, in their opinion. 7. An inability to express emotions. By now, most of you know that money is a numbers game and doesn't give a damn about how you feel. Since money is transient, it cannot be emotional. Although the motivations behind the transaction may be emotionally charged, money is not an emotion in and of itself. Hence, feelings must be set aside to understand money. Because money is always an emotive issue for poor people, they cannot do it. You eventually become wealthy when you reduce emotion from money to nothing more than numbers on a screen. However, in doing so, you turn off your perspective shifts as your mind gets used to this new reality, and you start considering things from a cause and effect angle. This follows that, and you can predict the outcome with a high degree of certainty depending on the input. This has a significant impact on the company. Socially wealthy individuals regret not being able to express their emotions more and tell others how they truly feel. We've met folks who are worth hundreds of millions of dollars and still struggle with the regret of having kept their feelings for a childhood crush secret. Although some of you think your spouse is aware of your feelings for them, how can they be sure if you never tell them? Open up more. Inform your partner of your emotions. Express your gratitude to your children for having them as children, and your pride in your employees. Believe us, it will be of great assistance. And speaking of that adolescent fling, 8. Lack of self-assurance when they were younger. One of their biggest regrets is allowing others to take advantage of them while young. Most wealthy people are not the most popular students in their schools. They are somewhat dissimilar. The general public does not care as much as they do about the future. Future billionaires thus occasionally experience marginalization since they don't fit in. You make pals, but they're too hot to handle, so they claim you don't truly develop deep relationships. Being able to be who you are without apology, and having people embrace and value that about you gives you confidence. The majority of us discover this later in life, yet the scars from those formative years remain. For some, the rarity of faith gives those who have it an unfair edge. Self-assurance is a cheat code if life is a video game. 9. Fill your life with unnecessary clutter by purchasing too many items. Mark Manson, the author of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Damn, admitted to us during one of our conversations that as soon as the money came in, he started buying all the stupid stuff he could. It fills in the gaps in your identity with things you couldn't otherwise purchase. However, you quickly realize that you didn't genuinely need or even want all that stuff. You were merely attempting to fill an inside need with items from the outside, which is simply ineffective. Not to mention that now that you have everything, it needs upkeep and work. A 10-car garage seems fantastic until you realize every vehicle needs an oil change. It's nice to have houses worldwide until your property in Japan breaks. When you have money, you quickly realize that the things you own ultimately become your property. 10. They experienced great misery while becoming wealthy. Real wealth doesn't come easily. It's very challenging. Because of this, only a select few people, some of them, were able to succeed. Others will concentrate hard, isolate themselves in a room, and toil away until they grow. Both of these people have been us at some point. One is more complex than the other. The grind is challenging, especially if you have no prior experience. It's draining and nearly demeaning before something finally connects. You gain velocity and develop your brain. You're surrounded by intelligent people who point out things immediately in front of you. With all of the stuff, it's simple to become lost. Rich, intelligent people are aware of the necessity to balance their financial achievement with maintaining their mental, emotional, and interpersonal well-being. We experienced a breakthrough a few years ago after traveling to visit various priests, shamans, and spiritual figures for about a year. Then, we applied those lessons to our lives by molding them to fit. Mind Mastery is the result. It is the only meditation course created especially for business owners. They believe they can purchase health. It's not just some boring middle school PSA. Your body is changing. It's true, you can always get in shape, but it must be age appropriate. Being fit in your 20s versus your 40s is an entirely different experience. After age 40, fitness becomes a flex if money was flexed in your 20s. The idea is to live as long as possible and enjoy life, but telling someone starving to eat sensibly can be difficult. One of most people's biggest regrets is realizing how far they've let themselves go too late. For most of them, dealing with that issue earlier, before things became more complex, would have been more straightforward and less expensive. 12. They lost their motivation, were conceited and disengaged. Once you're wealthy for a while, you begin to lose the memory of your previous existence. Hunger is a highly effective motivator. The most dangerous predator is a hungry lion, and you are it. You understand how it feels to work hard every day to provide for yourself. As soon as you bite down, you never let go. Your fridge starts to fill up suddenly because there is some extra food and you don't have to go hunting. You feel comfortable, lazy, and overweight. Your fitness level declines. Other lions are also proficient hunters. Before you know it, you get a huge wake-up call at this stage when you realize you have to ration the food you still have because you can't possibly compete with a child. But before it passes, you are unaware you had your chance. Some of you, regrettably, have to wait until this time. For some, it's in the distance, heading associated with the wrong individuals, dishonest business partners, politicians, and seductive relationships. 13. Associates might quickly tarnish your reputation. People want what you have and will take advantage of your quest for wealth to further their interests. For these reasons, they are generally wealthy, or at least they avoided politics and the spotlight until recently. Everyone wants to be a celebrity these days, but the drawback to putting oneself in the spotlight is that you can never turn it off. You will always be in public, and it will always be there. We've discovered that being wealthy and unknown is preferable to be famous and well-known. 14. Hedonistic treadmill and lifestyle requirements. Okay, we understand. Be wealthy so you can own a lovely home with a pool, but you realize the collection requires frequent maintenance. You must keep up with that pool if you want to keep it. You suddenly learn that you work to support the pool boy, housekeeper, horse trainer, piano teacher, and everyone else. It will help if you continue moving because of your lifestyle. The cosmetic shark must continue swimming at all times, or perish. Readers of Alice in Wonderland may be familiar with this idea, as the Red Queen's race is when one must run as quickly as possible to remain inside. Already, our way of life has altered. More of it would be fantastic, but it's not necessary. What would we buy with such money? We thought to ourselves. What are our actual goals for the upcoming 10 years? The solution was to design a technical product that truly impacts people's lives, provides individuals with access to financial education, and educates people on a large scale. Lives to contribute to change in areas of the world that require assistance. So, when we gave it more thought, it became clear that we would have to start from scratch. The video has come to an end. Please check out my upcoming video. Enjoy your day, and thanks for watching. All the best.